have all seen the movie The Exorcist. It is considered the scariest film of all time, forcing audiences to run out of theaters in 1973. But what most people don't know is that the movie is based on a true story that is far more terrifying than the fiction. This is the documented case of Roland Doe, a 14-year-old boy who became the battleground between the church and the devil in 1949. Our story begins in Cottage City, Maryland, in a quiet religious household. Roland was an only child, introverted and close to his Aunt Harriet. Harriet was a spiritualist who introduced the young boy to the Ouija Board. Teaching him how to contact spirits, she told him it was a game, a way to talk to the dead. But when Harriet died suddenly in January 1949, Roland tried to use the board alone to contact her. That was a mistake that opened the door. Almost immediately, the house began to turn against the family. It started with scratching sounds inside the walls, like sharp claws digging into the wood. Then came the dripping water noises, even though all the pipes were dry. But the activity focused entirely on Roland. At night, his mattress would shake violently, bucking like a wild horse, throwing the boy onto the floor. His parents watched in horror as heavy furniture moved across the room on its own to block the doorway. Desperate, they took him to a Lutheran pastor, who invited the boy to sleep at his house for observation. The pastor reported seeing Roland's bed move across the room while the boy was sleeping. Realizing this was beyond his power, the pastor told the family, "You need a Catholic priest." The family traveled to St. Louis, Missouri, where they met Father William Bowdern and Father Raymond Bishop. These priests kept a detailed daily diary of the events, which is how we know exactly what happened. The exorcism began in March 1949 and lasted for weeks. It was a brutal physical fight. The entity inside Roland was violent and intelligent. It would spit in the priest's faces with pinpoint accuracy from across the room. But the most chilling manifestation, the one that defined this case, was the writing on the skin. While the priest prayed, red scratches would suddenly appear on Roland's chest, stomach, and legs. They weren't random marks, they were words. The word hell appeared enraged. Red letters on his chest, then the word evil appeared on his thigh. At one point, an arrow was scratched into his skin, pointing to his genitals, mocking the priests. The boy, who knew no foreign languages, began to speak in fluent Latin. He taunted the priests in a guttural, demonic voice that sounded like several men speaking at once. He knew the priest's private sins and shouted them out loud to shame them. The room would turn freezing cold, and a foul smell of excrement and sulfur would choke everyone present. At one point, Roland broke free from his leather restraints. He pulled a spring from the mattress and slashed the priest's arm from shoulder to wrist, requiring stitches. The exorcism continued for over 30 nights. The boy's body was wasting away. He was covered in bruises, cuts, and the mysterious red writing. The final confrontation happened after Easter. Father Bowdern demanded the demon to leave in the name of Jesus Christ. The voice inside Roland screamed, "I am always with him." Suddenly, a new voice came from the boy, a clear, strong voice that wasn't his own, but wasn't the demon's either. The boy shouted, "Satan, I am Saint Michael. I command you to leave him now." Brilliant light filled the room, and the boy's body went rigid. Then a sound like a gunshot cracked through the hospital, and Roland fell back onto the bed, limp. When he woke up, he had no memory of the last 3 months. He remembered nothing of the Latin, the writing on his skin, or the violence. Roland Doe grew up, married, had children, and lived a normal life, never speaking of the events again. But the diary of Father Raymond Bishop remains in the archives, a testament to the night the devil visited St. Louis. This case proves that the Ouija board is not a toy, it is a key. Once you unlock that door, you never know what is waiting on the other side to come in. Do you believe Roland was possessed? Or was it a case of severe mental illness that the doctors missed? Tell me your verdict in the comments below, and if you want to see more true horror stories, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel right now.